Okay, bet we live now. All right, so let me just take a look here. Okay, cool. Yeah, just bear with me real quick. I'm just trying to switch it up. Okay, cool. Well, it's been a while since I did an episode, but I'm glad and I'm happy. I'm excited that you guys are able to come apart of the stream this morning. I know everybody kind of dealing with what they got going on for the holidays, but I figured, might as well take the opportunity while everybody's on, try to put a little bit of work in. So that's one thing about myself, man. Sometimes I don't even know what to do with free time. Like I can't even just sit down for some odd reason. I'm pretty much moving around a lot. But like I said, C, that's one of my best friends, and Uncle Rel, that's one of my aunts right there. One of my mentors I looked up to even as a child. Subconsciously, and then when I got older, I was like, okay, bet I'm moving right now. So, doing this thing. So, but for real, man. So if you guys want to kind of introduce, I gave you guys a little introduction. If you want to introduce yourself, you can. You don't have to get too specific, but if you want to kind of say something, actually we can actually start with this though. Just so that people kind of start coming in the room. You can kind of speak on some things that you're grateful for, especially this past year, and then some things that maybe you're excited for going into the new year. So I'll start with you.
All right. A little bit about myself. Jarrell Jackson. I guess you could say Southern Louisiana. I'll tell you the city, y'all probably wouldn't know where it's at anyway. I just say I was south of New Orleans, and no, that's not in the Gulf of Mexico. New Orleans is not the most southern part of Louisiana. I don't know why people think that, but it is not. But from home of Louisiana, born and raised. Did 9 years in the Navy. Proud father of 3 beautiful kids, 24, 23, and 21. That's it. I'm done. I just want to enjoy the rest of my life, whatever time I have left. And I thank God for each day that I'm here to see, and I just make the best of the 24 hours that I'm given. A little bit, some other things about myself. Past year, it's been some ups and downs. I won't say recently divorced anymore. It's been almost 2 years now. During that process of re-identifying myself, who I am, rediscovering myself. We're trying to renew my relationship back with God, trying to get back on my feet in that aspect. And throughout all of that, got hurt, been down for a little while, just had a second surgery. So just trying to keep my head up, stay positive, and not try to look at the downsides of being down out of work and everything, but just continue to trust in God and everything that He's doing. And everything is for a purpose.
Right.
Everything that we go through is for a purpose. Just have to continue to trust in Him, no matter what it is that I may be going through. Continue to be the best father that I could be. Continue to be a mentor to a lot of my son's friends, a lot of young guys. Do the best I can. I'm not perfect in any way. I just do the best that I can and try to be the best example as I can to younger men, young ladies, men, women. I try to keep a smile on my face no matter what I'm going through. I wear a good poker face. And a lot of people say, man, we'll never know what you're going through because you're always smiling, you're always silly.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like people to see me going through whatever it is that I may be going through. Yes, I do go through my hard times, but I keep it moving. I keep my head up. I keep striving, and I make the best of whatever it is that I'm going through or dealing with.
Right. Absolutely, man. And that's something I always, seen growing up. Even from the times we were around each other. Like I never seen you had a bad day, so I don't know what it looked like. So you always had
don't get me wrong.
face on.
I do, I do, but I try my best to contain it because I mean we all have triggers. I mean,
You're right, exactly.
I would be a hypocrite if I tell you I didn't have a trigger. But with that being said, it's not that I'm not a cruel person. I don't go out looking for trouble, looking for drama. You know, I try to stay avoid all drama and gossip and this and that, man. I don't have time for that. We all have dealing with our own battles and this way. But if I can put a smile on somebody's face and help them have a better day, then cool. I did my job, my duties for the day.
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely.
and
That's
like I
good.
said, I try to avoid that because if that switch go off, that's a whole nother person. So I try to keep
Oh
that
man.
person in check. And I'm not saying all of that because I'm trying to make it seem like I'm Mr. Big Badass and nothing like that. But I like being aware of what I do and what I say, and I try to be careful of what I say because you know you can once it's out there you can't take it back,
Yeah.
and you never know what a person may be going through,
Mhm.
and they might have triggers also,
Right.
and you know so I don't want to say the wrong thing to set them off or they set me off, so I just say you
Yeah.
know what you have a nice day, and I just keep it moving. Don't make
Right.
me any less of a man or a person, and
Mhm.
don't make you any less of a person, man, woman. Um, just try to make the best of it. Keep a smile on my face, man. Keep it moving.
Right. But a good thing is though, we are human beings. So even if you do say something that does set somebody off, uh, you do have the option to apologize, and
Yeah,
that person at that
definitely.
point have the option to forgive you. So, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, we are gonna at some point we're gonna cross the line. I know me and my boy C at some point we had a little situation. But but listen, God is good. We here now. Everything is good. It's just what it is, and I'm the type of person too. I value relationships with people. So for that reason, it's easy for me to apologize and kind of let things go. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, you
you have to.
definitely
You have to, man. You can't hold life is short, man. People dying left and right, man.
mhm,
And take accountability for what okay, if I wronged you, let me know that I wronged you. I'm not like you as you just said, you not no one's perfect. There
mhm,
may be things that I may say or do to offend you. If I did, let me know. I'm not perfect.
right,
And that's the last thing I want to do is offend anybody or try to burn a bridge with someone. And man, let's squash it because we're
right,
not promised the next hour. We're not promised tomorrow. Man, let, we've been fooled too long to let a misunderstanding come between all the years that we'd have been cool with one another, that we've been boys and stuff. So, I mean, that's
right.
what's up, man. I mean,
Yeah,
all friends
facts.
go through that. They go butt heads one time or another. But man, y'all made it up. Y'all cool now. Y'all back to boys, and that's what's up.
Yeah. See, what's up, C?
What's up, bro?
I see you in the
Yeah,
cut. What's going on,
and
C?
that
You
and
gotta let
that
people
do
know who you
define
are, man.
friendship too. Yeah.
Say that again.
Um, I said, and that's one of the things that do define friendship too. The fact that you can have the tough discussions and still come back from it. So, I do
Right.
agree with everything that y'all said 100%. But yes, my name is Chris. I do the inwood.com. I do You Shield Me with Jay. Uh I'm from Riviera Beach, born and raised. I have lived other places, but I still keep finding myself coming back to my hometown too. That's in Florida, South Florida. Um, the things that I'm happy about, I'm just happy about life and family and friendship and still being able to figure things out about life.
Mhm.
Even as I get older, um, things that I'm excited about. I am doing a bunch of different things. I do a lot of stuff with
I
my
know.
little brother Free Bro. So, I'm really excited about the stuff that I'm doing with that.
Right.
We just shot a music video. I, the footage came out crazy. So, I can't wait to see how that turn out and just the things that we get to accomplish in the next couple of years. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, that's dope, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you're always moving, man. You be having me on my toes, bro. But
yeah, no,
But it's all good. But the thing that I'm thankful for this year is just, for me, I value family. So I definitely am thankful for my children. I'm thankful actually just to be here, another day. A lot of times you think that you're having a bad day, but if you take a moment and you kind of just go to the hospital and just kind of sit in the waiting room, in the emergency room, you'll see, things that, how other people live in their own world. And you'll be grateful that you have the little that you do have. But yeah, so I appreciate again. I want to give y'all flowers. I really appreciate you guys being on the episode. I know again, like I say, it is Thanksgiving, it's holidays. I know people have a lot of things they got going on, so I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I'm glad to see something that I envisioned some time ago actually coming to fruition. And me, like I was telling Uncle Real, I invited him on the show like a year ago. So just to have him here is a blessing in itself. He said he was going to be here. It took some time,
Yeah,
to get him here, but we
yeah.
got him. So we got
Hey,
him.
he
I
got
got him
that
for
talk too,
time.
like
So we
a
good.
radio person. He got that talk too, bro. He should have been on
Yeah,
here.
he's
Come on,
smooth,
man.
man. Oh, smooth, man.
Yeah,
I
Oh, he's
appreciate it. I
throwing the slow
appreciate it.
jams. He's gonna throw on the slow jam, the radio voice in a minute.
that's what I'm
Come on
saying. He
now.
got to run a station.
But it's all good. But yeah, so the name of the episode itself is let's talk about it. I'm really big on just taking accountability. I'm really big on just self-reflection. I'm really big on sharing our own experiences. It may be able to help someone in the future. It may not reach them today, but of course, with the internet, a lot of stuff is on the internet. Sometimes it lives forever, and it may catch them at a later time in their life when they're actually looking for it. So I do got some questions that I do want to ask. I don't have too much because I don't want it to be too lengthy, but it is some thought provoking stuff, and we could just kind of talk about it. And also guys, if you're in the you watching the episode, I appreciate it if you like the episode, if you subscribe to the channel as well, and hit the notification button. Anytime I do go live going forward, you'll get a message to hop in and join, because I'm pretty sure you're not doing nothing anyway. So, but in any event, let me just kind of go into. Oh, also in the chat as well too. If you guys can shout out where you watching from, I do appreciate it. I do have the in the comment section. You'll see too the link to the StreamYard. It actually will bring you into the studio if you guys want to come up, kind of add your opinion or your thoughts or comments on anything that we talk about, or maybe even challenge us on different perspectives. It's all fun, it's all love, and then we can go from there. But yeah, so the link for that is in the comment section. You'll see it. I have it on the screen there. That's for the StreamYard, and we'll go ahead and get into the episode. So the first question that we're going to talk about is just pretty much self-reflection. So what part of your character are you trying to strengthen right now, and how have you seen signs of that lately? So I'll go with you, bro. You want me to read it again, or can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
One part of my character that I'm trying to strengthen right now is my ability to interact with new people in a I guess more like non-business type of interaction. It's like most of the time now when I deal with new people, I'm purely seeing it from a business aspect, even not so much of knowledge perspective anymore. It's like even before, in the past, it used to be like, okay, what kind of knowledge can I get from this person? But it's just all business.
I noticed
I
that
do
about
want
you,
to
bro.
change. I do want to change that about my character. The way that I've been working on it, and I think it still kind of put me back into the business.
You can't go out of it, huh?
Yeah, it's like I still, I try to read books on, how to interact with people better, how to win over and influence people. But you know, even in the end, those books still kind of relate back to it in a business
Right.
perspective. So
So to me, it just sounds like maybe you're trying to work on maybe more so like your social skills. Is that what you're saying in a nutshell? Being more
yes, you know,
sociable
just
without actually leading into the business aspect. Maybe trying to
yes,
get to know the person a little better.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now I definitely noticed that about you, bro. You've been very consistent over the years. When you speak to people, it's always from a business aspect,
Yeah, you
instead of
know, outside of that, that's really the only way that I could generate a conversation with most people.
Mhm,
A lot of times the things that I say, it just seems so, you know, kind of removed that it kind of could create a conflict between me and the person.
mhm,
um you know, even though I'm not saying, hey, you should do it from my perspective, it's just like, hey, have you ever saw it from this perspective? It may be, you know, you kind of blind to this part of it,
mhm,
and you know, this is why you can't uh separate yourself from the crowd when
mhm,
you do this thing. um when you start to do that in people just regular life, as you just interact with people, a lot of people don't like that, because you know, you have to go into different areas of conversation. You have to go into people belief systems, you know, how people live in their life. And then
mhm.
it's like, you kind of criticizing me. It's like, no, you know, just have you ever thought about it from this perspective? And
Right,
you know, sometimes people see that as an attack, but when you do it in business, nobody ever feels attacked. People always feel like they can you know, give their input, and then you know, maybe I can use that towards whatever I have going on at the time. So but I don't think that that's healthy in the long run with building relationships with,
right,
you know,
right.
just new people. As you come in contact with new people, it's going to keep people in categories for you.
What you think about what he was saying?
Oh man, I can relate to a lot of the things he was saying as far as interacting with people, building new relationships, new social skills, connected with the right people. That's also have that's inspired, that's motivated, looking to better themselves and bring
Mhm,
people in to help better their lives also. Um, iron sharp as iron. Oil and water don't mix. So if you're trying to elevate yourself, you have to surround yourself around the same type of people that's
mhm,
trying to do the same thing, that's trying to move forward in life. And, positive minded people. You can't hang around negative minded people that all they want to do is just hang out, go to the club, drink, gossip about people. Those people not moving, they stagnant where they at. But if you're trying to
right,
advance yourself, then you have to surround yourself with like minded people, because that's how you grow, that's how you develop. And they're going to show or point out weaknesses. Well, I won't say weaknesses, but things that you could strengthen in yourself, and you could do the same for them also, because they may see things that you don't see just as well as you see, vice versa. So I agree 100% what he's saying. So building those social skills, improving that, getting better in those areas. Reading is
right.
also fundamental, because I can't quote it right, but knowledge is power, and we suffer from a lack of knowledge, and what
Right.
you don't know will hurt you. So if you're not feeding yourself, if you're not growing, then what are you doing? And it was something I heard someone say a long time ago. Um, we don't plan to fail, but we fail to plan. So
Right.
if you're not planning your life accordingly, then in so many words, you are already planning to fail, because you're
Mhm.
not doing the necessary things in order to better your life.
Right. Right.
So
Facts.
I agree 100% on what everything C was saying.
Yeah, I think that's great. See that you have that self awareness to kind of understand um, areas that you can kind of improve on, because I think that comes with paying attention to who you're speaking to, because not
Yeah,
everybody, you know what I mean. Not everybody will be so accepting of your perspective on how to do something better, especially if they didn't invite you to that conversation. Sometimes they may just want to express themselves to you, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't want your input for you. You know what I'm saying? They don't really
True.
want that part of it, even though you can't help them. But I think that comes with just understanding who you're speaking to. You understand?
True.
And
True.
yeah, and like I say too, what I'm saying, oil sharpens, iron sharpens iron, things like that. Oil and water don't mix. That's correct. So you do want to align yourself with those type of individuals, like you say, that are trying to push themselves in that direction. And there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I think it just comes with paying attention to who you're speaking with. But
Yeah.
what's going on with you? So what part of your character are you trying to strengthen right now, and how have you seen signs of that lately?
For me, number one, I need to renew my relationship with God first and foremost.
So
A
your
lot of
faith.
most of my life, I'm a believer.
Mm-hmm.
And the old saying is, people know God, but people don't fear God. And when you
Mm,
would develop the fear of God, that's when you develop the love of God. And
mm,
so that's my path right now that I'm working on. Again, I say, like, been married for over 25 years, so I'm in new territory right now. So re-identifying myself, again, renewing my relationship with God,
mm,
and just trying to continue to live the best life that I can, stay humble. I'm thankful for everything that I've been through, everything that I have right now. I do not take anything for granted.
right.
Um, all of the hardships, it was all teaching lessons.
Mm-hmm.
It was lessons
Right.
that I learned. It's lessons that I'm grateful for. I don't
Mm,
regret anything. Well, I do have regrets, but um, ain't nothing I could do about it. But move on and continue to better myself.
right.
Um, I do. I'm enjoying the peace that I have right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, because a weight has been lifted. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for that. The peace of mind I have, the love that I'm growing, developing into, has been words. I have no words to describe it. It's
Right.
just been peaceful. I'm thankful for my health. My kids are doing well.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, you got a lot to be
a lot of
thankful
people, when they
for.
see me, yeah, a lot of people see me today and I like, man, you just look so much happier now. Like, man, I and without trying to
Hey, well,
discredit what happened in my marriage or anything like that, all I say is I just thank God that I'm still here, because
yeah, man.
you
Man,
know,
that's
uh,
yeah, man.
yeah, there was a time that somebody said, I'm how can I put it delicately? I shouldn't be here right now. I
Right.
just leave it like that without having
Right.
to get into too much details.
Yeah,
But
no, you
I'm
don't have
here.
but a
Nah,
lot
but
of
I'm
us
here. I'm thankful for it, and I'm just going to continue to make the best of each day that God blessed me to see.
right. Yeah, no, I mean we're all here by the grace of God. You know what I mean? A
Mhm.
lot of us are, by nature we all sinful. So
Mhm.
just to know that we are here by the grace of God is more than enough. But yeah, so
Right.
it seems like for you, with the part of your character you're trying to really strengthen and improve on is just basically your faith, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you spoke about people knowing God, but not actually fearing God. And I think a lot of times the reason why people don't fear God is because they don't really understand God. They don't know God. They don't read the Bible. So if you
Hmm.
read the Bible and you understand stories in the Bible, then you'll really understand who really has the power.
Hmm.
And so, but yeah, but that's perfect. I love that. I love that for you. But so for me, the part of my character I'm trying to strengthen right now. So when I look away, because I had wrote some stuff down. So this is my discipline. That's the part of my character that I'm really trying to strengthen right now. And I feel like my discipline is always being tested. And I notice it when I really notice it when God is trying to take me to a new level, right? The reason why I think that it's being tested is because what that new level becomes is going to require more from me. So in order to maintain that, I have to go through things beforehand to actually build that up. So I think
Hmm.
for me, my discipline is being tested because God is trying to take me to a new level that's going to require more from me. And yeah, to maintain and sustain. So That's what I have to say about it in a nutshell.
I feel you on that
Um,
discipline though. That's a hard thing for a lot of us to try to master is discipline because we get so uh, comfortable,
right.
complacent, doing the same old. But when you're trying to better yourself, you have to relearn new habits, and that's
Yeah.
where that discipline comes in. So, just
Right.
continue at it, left. You go get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you didn't say how you was working on it or how you seen signs of it lately. You just said what
Hmm.
you was
Well,
trying to
the
strengthen.
reason, the signs that I'm seeing lately about it is I'm kind of being pulled in different directions. But even though I'm still being pulled in different directions, I'm still finding myself still committing to the things that I promised to myself, right? Because
Hmm.
we all have promises and commitments that we make to ourselves, but in order to actually, to make good on those promises, you have to do the work. But we also have other influences that we still have to attend to. So when it comes to improving yourself, it may not always come in a situation that's comfortable for you. So, the more things that come at you tends to knock you off your path. So you just got to find your way back on and just keep going.
So
That's
like
that's the
more
sign that I
being
really.
more like being more aware, maybe.
Um, I would say yes, being more aware to understanding, things that are becoming more challenging. So um, things that come with that come unexpectedly, but you still have to deal with it. You have to deal
Okay.
with that, and you also have to deal with the things that you promised to yourself. And it's easier to
Hmm.
just deal with the things that's coming at you and put the promises that you promised to yourself to the side because at the end of the day, it's like you get drained. You're tired mentally, you're tired physically, you're tired, and it's easier to not commit to the things that you promised yourself.
Hmm.
And I'll just leave it at that.
That's true.
Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, bet. All right, so the next one here. What truth about yourself have you been avoiding, and how would your life change if you finally faced it? So, what truth about yourself have you been avoiding? I'll let you go first, Aunt.
Truth I've been by myself. I am a procrastinator. Something I've dealt with for a long time, man. That's why you look that up. I'm probably got a picture of my face on it in the dictionary. But
with a San Francisco hat
procrastination.
on.
But that's something that again that I'm looking to improve on, to do better
Mhm.
on. Reading is something that I definitely need to start doing more. Also, that goes along with my procrastination. I've been reading the same book for like the past 5 6 months now. I haven't finished it. I just got one chapter left to go, and I still haven't finished it. And it's a great book. I just never finished it.
Right.
So procrastination. Another thing, more time for myself. You know,
Mhm.
again, I've put so many people ahead of my own needs. Um,
Mhm.
again, when I was married, everything came before me. I even put things before God. So
Mhm.
I put myself on the back burner a lot. So understanding that and realizing that now and working on improving all of those aspects for myself because tomorrow's not promised to anyone.
Right.
And with me doing so much for always looking out for someone else, and I have no problem with that. I'm not gonna complain. I don't regret it because I love helping out whatever way I
Mhm.
can. I love being a helping hand, a listening ear, whatever someone may need. If I'm available, you got it. If I got it, you got it. I always try to be a blessing to someone else, but again, I don't do enough for myself. So, you
Okay.
know, again, God first, then start looking out for me and stop procrastinating as much.
Right.
That's
How,
one of
how
the
do you
things that
hold
I need
yourself
to do better.
accountable when you start to find that you going back into procrastinating? How do you hold yourself accountable?
Um, I just look in the mirror, look at the person that's looking right back at me, and like, you know better. You know what you need to do. Just have that honest conversation with myself.
Hmm.
Again, like you say, hold myself accountable because it ain't nobody's fault but mine. Why maybe in the situation I'm in, why I'm not moving, or why I'm not at this point in my life. I
Hmm.
have to hold myself accountable for that. I'm like, okay, you know what you need to do. You already got the roadmap. You need to start following your roadmap. Stop taking all of these detours. So again, nobody else to blame but myself. So I know what I need to do. I just
Hmm.
need to put the plan in action.
Right. Okay. I love that. Definitely. See, what about yourself, man? What's one truth about yourself you've been avoiding, and how would your life change if you finally faced it?
I do feel like I procrastinate in certain areas of my life also. So I definitely feel Uncle Real on that one 100%. Um, but I do feel like I do need to kind of detour from the goal sometimes. I think maybe um I might be a tad bit of the opposite. Sometimes I could get so hyper focused on something that, I just let a bunch of other stuff go. Um, because I'm just so hyper focused on this thing or trying to get this thing done. And during those times I might not, in my mind, I'm enjoying life because I'm doing this thing that I'm hyper focused on, but I might not be enjoying life and just kind of hanging out and
Right.
enjoying time with people that I'm around in a better fashion. So just kind of stopping and
And
smelling the roses
and for you, where
sometimes.
did that hyper focus mentality come from? What does that stem from?
um you know I just feel like us as a people, we're in a bad situation. It's a bunch of things that we don't pay attention to, trying to bring some kind of attention to it, whether it be me myself doing it or trying to invest my time into pushing movements that uh s- um present those things to the public. um I can get hyper focused on that, and that might be a dream that's like winning a lottery dream, like something
Mhm.
that might not be attainable, but it's
Right.
like you kind of just hyper focused on this thing that you might not have the power to even change it, but you just stuck on it, so everything that you do just kind of revolve around it, so you let other things in your life go. And I think that might not be the best. Sometimes you got to focus on life.
Okay. So with being hyper focused being a truth that you've been avoiding, so how would your life change if you finally faced?
I feel like I might enjoy life more because life isn't only about accomplishing whatever this one end goal is that might be attainable or might not be attainable. It's
So
about enjoying family and
okay,
friends
that's what I
and
wanted to know.
hanging out and just enjoying moments in life.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I was because you said you would enjoy life, but I was trying to see what that picture looks like. Because
Yeah,
enjoy
in
life
my
is just
mind,
fun
I'm
stuff.
enjoying life because,
Right.
I'm working towards this one, this goal that, in my mind, I had this fantasy, like I'm going to play the lottery at that time. I'm going to the corner store and buying my lottery ticket. I'm
Right.
happy at
Right.
that
Right.
point because I feel like I'm accomplishing this goal. I'm getting closer to this goal.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I might not be hanging out with the people around me and just, kind of enjoying life, bro.
So smelling those, so you trying to smell the flowers.
Yeah, smell the roses, bro. Stop and smell the roses sometimes.
you, you trying to you trying to go to the park and eat some trail mix.
Yeah, bro. Just stop, dog, and then look at the bees and
Watch the bees
the
and the
birds.
flowers.
Well, yeah, just chill.
Hey man, that's all good, man. Yeah, man. All right, listen, man. Everybody working towards whatever destination they're trying to get. But for me, it's always been about more so the journey than the actual destination. I think we have an appreciation for the destination because of what we went through to get there. So, but yeah, no, I definitely love that for you, bro. Cause I know you personally. I mean, when you be locked in, bro, but I don't see you for like a month. What? I'd be like, man, let's go out to the restaurant and yada yada yada. Nah, man, I gotta work on something.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
We trying to figure it out.
I
Yeah.
know,
Trying to
man. I
figure
know
it
you.
out.
I know
Yeah.
you, bro. But yeah, no, that's definitely I love that for you, bro. So yeah, for me, the truth that I've been avoiding is the fact that I can't do everything. I think we often kind of add on to what you guys saying. I think we kind of often burn ourselves out by overextending ourselves and just basically overcommitting. And just learning to say no sometimes is really good for your mental. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Life
True.
is a
True.
lot more peaceful when you learn to say no. You know what I'm saying?
That's
True.
real.
But it's not coming from a malicious area or anything like that. It's just basically learning from your past, understanding that what it feels like to overcommit and burn yourself out. But I do that with my children though. But I'll always overcommit with them. I don't know why, but I'm just that desire.
Yeah,
So
and I could definitely relate to that as well. But one thing I would encourage you guys and anyone else, make sure you
mhm.
always still have time for yourself.
Yeah,
Cause see, like you were saying, when my nephew tried, man, let's go hang out, eat out or something, man, just talk. As you were saying, man, I'm just trying to figure it out. Let me take care of this and that. Still try to find time for yourself because sometimes we need to just sit back. We need to release. We need to reflect, and we just need to have that time now ourselves away from everything else, just
Yeah.
to have that serenity. So make sure
right,
you still have time for yourself, man, because
right.
this life go pass you by in the blink of an eye, man. I'm already 50 years old, and it's like, man, where
Dang,
did that
Uncle,
time go? Did I say 50?
damn,
Man, I'm
you
at
out here,
40. Huh?
you out here looking like a silver fox, man.
Man, hey, the ladies like it, bro.
Hey, that's where I get it from.
Yeah, there you go. You don't got the gray.
Hey,
You got a little gray, huh? You got a little
I,
shade.
I,
Trying to catch up.
it's crazy because one minute I wake up and they'll be gray, then I wake up a week later they black. I don't know.
Hey,
It be
watch
changing.
when that gray start coming out, though, boy. They gonna be loving it.
They gonna be
But
loving
nah,
the gray.
man. But nah, man, y'all just make sure y'all always find time for yourself, though, bro. Because before you know it, man, you gonna be up in age where you might not be able to do a lot of these things anymore. Travel, this and that. So
Yeah,
always take that time for yourself because
right.
we already busy enough. Life is hard enough. We busy enough trying to work, as you say, trying to figure it out. But we don't enjoy our time for ourselves,
Right.
just to get away from escape everything. So by all means, please just make sure you guys make time for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely important. I don't know, for me, I like to take my time. I like to go to the gym. And
Mhm.
that helps me out. So,
Yeah,
everybody, once you figure out what it is that really brings you joy and relief and things of that sort, just kind of lock in on it because it does really good for your mental. So yeah.
yeah.
We all deal with our own stresses in life. So definitely. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man, giving me that feedback though, man. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. People that are watching, like I said, please like the channel. I'm sorry, like the episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for whenever we go live. I'm trying to do, I don't know, I'm trying to challenge myself to do at least 40 years out. I'm trying to do a good amount. So we'll see. We'll see. But we'll go back into the episode here. Sorry, I kind of just looked away for a moment. All right, so with that being said, what kind of legacy are you building through your words, your actions, and the way you show love? So I'll take this one first. So for me, I'm building a legacy that lasts. I'm in pursuit of happiness with my words. keeping my commitments, my actions, and with my actions, pretty much the way that I show up, and I show up with love. So for me, it's just about being an example um, of the type of person you want to be in this world. So I think a lot of times we're influenced by what we see, um, and sometimes what we go through helps to shape who we are as adults. And sometimes some people um, tend to let that change over time and become, a worse version of themselves. And some people actually take that whatever trauma that was and use it as fuel and turn out to be something. But what do you think about that? See, what kind of legacy are you building through your words, actions, and the way you show love?
Um, I do try to make sure that all of the stuff that I do push our people forward in a general context. Um, things that I feel like if uh young people heard it, it would only make them better as opposed to, putting them in a weird predicament. uh all the stuff that I put on the website, all of that stuff is, stuff that I feel like if people sat down and read, they would say, oh, okay, taking this into consideration, it would just move us forward or put us in front of, some of the perils that we face in life. The stuff that I do with Free, he rap about veganism, he could rap about sliding on his ops, but we talk about, being nice to people around you and taking care of the environment and stuff like that. And we still make it cool. So I think my legacy would be uh relatively good. You shield me with something that we did together, and
Mhm.
it's like, kind of protect our people from something that we feel like is a problem also. So I feel like I try and attach myself to things that move us forward as opposed to holding us back. um how I show love, I feel like if I learn some stuff and I try and share my opinion with you, that's the most love I could offer. I feel like that's the love that my parents and my grandparents gave me. They took their experience, the experience that they think would work best for them, and because they love me, they passed that knowledge on to me. So I feel like that's how I show love. That's why it's kind of hard for me to relate it back to that beginning question, to kind of remove it from business, because when I start having that conflict with a person, it's like, I'm not trying to be mean, I consider you to be a friend. That's why I'm passing this information on to you. If I didn't care about you, I would have just heard your thing and then just been like, oh, okay, well, whatever, and walked away from it. But because I feel like I have the information that would try and help you out, and I start to say it to you and I start getting this pushback, it make me feel a certain kind of way. It's like almost a rejection of love in a certain context to me.
Mm,
So
right,
um you know uh that's how I show it with love.
right. I think for in that situation too, that's just based on just knowing you as an individual. Some people that don't know you, that they don't understand that that information is coming from a place of love, right? That's coming from a place that's pure. You're just trying to help, but not. And for you, that just comes with knowing who you're talking to, because everybody's not gonna want to receive the gifts that you're trying to give. So. But yeah, no, it definitely sounds like for you, building your legacy is centered around, moving people forward. So that's dope.
Mhm.
So what about you? What legacy are you trying to are you building through your words, actions, and the way you show love?
Uh, to continue to be an inspiration to the younger generation, A lot of my kids, my son's friends, they call me either Pops or Mr. Pops. I have yet to see any one of them call me, Mr. Jarrell, Mr. Jackson, anything like that. It's always Pops or Mr. Pops.
Right.
They always come like for any kind of advice, whatever it may be. And what I do is I just give them my best opinion. And I always stress that it's like, look, this is my opinion on how I see it. Doesn't mean I'm right, no, because somebody else may have a different opinion or a different take. So all you do is just take a bit of what I say, bit of what I say. You make the best decision for you. That's going to benefit you. But at the end of the day, every decision we make has either a negative or a positive consequence behind it, and that's going to be out for the rest of your life. So
Right.
I just continue to be just a listening ear for them, someone that they could look up to. I always try to encourage them to live a productive life. Make sure that you have a plan, and I give them the best advice I have from my experiences of life and from the mistakes I made. And I stress that to them, and I explain to them where I went wrong, the mistakes
Right.
that I made, and where it led me to because of the choices that I made. So
Right.
I plant that seed, and I keep, discussing it with them whenever I see them, trying to water that seed, and hopefully that they take heed to it so that they don't make the same mistakes. Now, we're all young once. A lot of older generation, they tell us this and that, and sometimes we still go out and do that stupid thing anyway. Sometimes we listen and make the best of it. So
Mhm.
that's the legacy that I'm been doing for a while now, and I'm still striving to continue to do. Um, I'm not a drinker, never did drink, never smoked,
Right.
and I tell them that also. And it's not that I have a big ego about it, because I don't live that lifestyle, and I don't knock anybody that does. Man, if you drink, you smoke, hey, that's your life. Cool. What you do, whatever benefits you. I just
Right.
choose not to
Right.
for
Right.
my own reasons. And
So for you, it just. Oh, I'm sorry.
and I try to instill that in him, because I hate. I just had he's like a bonus son to me. I was telling him about the dangers, drinking and driving and this and that. Knucklehead turns around, gets a DUI.
Hmm.
Thank God he didn't. He was driving fine, but he was just speeding. Got pulled over, did a breathalyzer. All right, now your license suspended for 2 years. Man, Mr. Pops, I know you told me. I wasn't mad at him. You see, that's just why I told you these things, because these are the consequences that you have to
Right.
face now. And
Right.
I feel bad
Exactly.
for you, but that's nothing that I could do for you now. You made that choice. Now you have to eat it.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's one
so
thing.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, we all have to live with the decisions that we make in life.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's just what it
and
is. We all live with the decisions
yeah,
we make in life. And it sounds like
yeah,
for you, the kind of legacy that you're building is through mentorship and guidance.
yeah,
Yeah, through
yeah.
mentorship and
And
guidance to get
and I try to
leadership.
with, talking it is one thing, but I also try to walk it.
Yeah,
I don't want to
absolutely.
be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And and I don't discuss a lot of finances, because I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I made a lot of mistakes in my life with the money that I made, but
Hmm.
I tell them my mistakes, and I
Yeah.
try to encourage them to do better if they
Right.
come across money or ways they making money. Like, because a lot of people of color in our community, we're not taught finances. We don't know, we're not educated on how to manage your money and this and that.
Hmm.
So I'm not giving them advice how to manage money. I'm telling them the tools to go get to
Hmm.
educate yourself.
Right. Right.
Educate, because again, like I said earlier, education is the foundation of everything. We suffer
Right.
from a lack of knowledge. So
Right.
here are the tools that you should go get. Educate yourself. Learn how to watch your money move. Do this and that. Save your money. Build up an emergency fund. Simple little things like that can, you know, have you in a better position in life,
Right.
because we
Yeah.
never know what kind of curveball life go throw at us. Look, I just had surgery. I'm out of work for the rest of the year.
Right.
Never expected that, but you
You
never
never
know.
expected it.
But if you don't plan your life accordingly, and if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you
Right.
have something that's gonna put you down. How you gonna survive? How you gonna eat? How you gonna pay your bills? So
Yeah.
plan accordingly. As I said earlier, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. So make sure
Right.
you have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's one thing about me. I try to always move with intention. Things sometimes don't work out in my favor, but I still turn lemons into lemonade. And
Mhm.
that's the thing about life too. Sometimes, like you say, just to kind of add on to what you're saying, sometimes not knowing will cost you a lot. So that's one thing about life. Sometimes not knowing will cost you, and also taking shortcuts actually
Right,
makes the trip a lot longer. So
right,
shortcuts
definitely.
make the trip a lot longer. But yeah, no, I definitely agree though. Financial education I think should be something that is taught, especially at a younger age. I don't know why it's not so why that is, why it's structured that way, but maybe as parents, maybe that should be more of our responsibility. And
Hmm.
people that are involved in type of mentorship programs and things of that sort, to kind of educate the youth on how to manage themselves financially. And even if you don't know, maybe you have the ability to bring someone in that does know to help out, because that
Yeah, right.
actually puts the youth at an advantage, especially if you get into things earlier on, index funds, mutual funds, things of that sort. And next thing you're 30 years old and you're sitting on a couple 100,000 just because you invested
Yeah,
in mutual funds
easily.
15 years ago when you was working at McDonald's. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, no, definitely, I appreciate that. See, you had to say something. See,
No, I
you
agree with
good?
that. I'm a big believer in mentors. I be around people that kind of say otherwise. But I'm a firm believer in that. I kind of rail against that concept of once you get things, you got to kind of move away. I think that's what put us in a bad situation. If all of our good people leave and just go on to their life and wherever this better place is, that's it, only leave the knuckleheads in the neighborhood. So I'm a firm believer in mentors, even in situations where they might not have a dad around, or their dad might be there. I was raised up in the house with my dad, but my dad worked on a job. He had a specific knowledge in a certain thing. I was interested in other things that my daddy didn't have an interest in. In those areas, I got a mentor, and that was the person that kind of helped me learn in those areas. So I think that's a super important thing in
Right,
our community. Yeah.
absolutely. All right, just to kind of move forward a little bit. So when you think about your family, what unspoken hurt or longing do you still carry, and what would it mean for you to finally release it? See, you want to take it first? You want
Um,
second?
I'll go first, only because I'm a very I'm gonna say my thing to people. So I don't really have a unspoken hurt. It was one that I did carry for a long time. Um, and it was kind of unfair to my parents in the context of um they didn't really they made me think about money in the context of saving money and being able to do the things that I want to do in life. They taught me really good about being able to do that, but they didn't point out to me that maybe they needed help with money in a uh maybe they didn't have the best knowledge about money. My parents never said that to me. And I have a real close relationship with my parents, where if they would have kind of taught me that earlier, I wouldn't have wasted a bunch of money in my lifetime. So you know, I kind of held on to resentment for that because, you know, I just felt like my parents wasn't honest with me. You know, maybe they was kind of keeping up a facade, like, you know, everything was okay, and it wasn't. And you know, my parents not poor or anything, but you know, you could have paid off your house earlier with just a better knowledge of how mortgages work. So, you know, once I got old enough to kind of learn how mortgages work, and it's like, well, why my parents did it this other way and kind of put themselves in a, you know, harder financial situation. And when they knew that they had a kid that was kind of interested in a bunch of different topics and subjects, when they could have, you know, just asked me these questions or brought these things to me. But then, you know, I held on to a resentment about that. I talked to my parents about that, and my parents kind of explained to me, it's like, you know, it's kind of unfair to dump that on your kid. But you know, in my mind, I didn't feel that way because my parents always just had real conversations with me. So,
Gotcha.
you know, but I eventually just said it to my parents once I got old enough to where it was like, okay, I can explain it in a way where, you know, I won't offend my parents. Cause, you know, even when I started thinking this way, I was like, you know, I know they couldn't have meant wrong because they didn't deprive me of anything. They made sure, you know, if a new video game came out and I said I wanted it, they would get it for me. So, you know, but you know, financially, that might not have been the best thing at the time. You know, maybe we could have talked about it in a different kind of a way because, you know, you had a different kid. So, um, but I was able to just kind of just go and say it to my parents, bro, when I hit a certain age and I could explain it better. And once they explained that to me, it was like, okay, well, you know, I get it now. You know, people just interpret the world the way that they interpret it. And they didn't mean anything by it. You know, I just felt a certain kind of way because I felt like I could have helped my parents. So, you know, maybe it was a slightly unfair, but I can't lie, maybe like 10 years, I kind of resented the fact that my parents didn't do this and would kind of be like, you know, y'all kind of fronting with me a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I'm gonna let you tackle this one next. I gotta step away for just a moment and I'll be right back.
All right. All right. Yeah. As far as for me, Chris, I could relate to a lot of the things he was just saying. As far as like what I wasn't taught when I was younger, and this and that goes back to what I said earlier. You know, as far as finances and whatnot, it's like my parents always did tell me, "All right, man, you working now. Make sure you save for a rainy day," and that was it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that there got to be more to it. I can't just be saving for a rainy day. Like, I understand saving for a rainy day, but why? Why this and why that? What leads up to saving for a rainy day? What all goes along with saving up for a rainy day? It wasn't broken down to me. It was just left at save for a rainy day. So that's one of the things that I kind of resented also, and I try not to be the same way with my kids. I actually broke it down to them the importance of making sure you put an emergency fund up, and you leave that emergency fund for just strictly that, not to go on vacations, not to go buy a pair of shoes out the store, or whatever the case may be. Save it up just for that, separate from your savings account and this and that. And there's nothing wrong with traveling and enjoying yourself. It's just make sure you stay up for those events and don't take it out of your paycheck. You know, be smart about your money and this and that. And a lot of those things wasn't instilled in me when I was coming up. And as I became a parent, um, I guess you could say there was some kind, again, some resentment towards my parents. But that's not that I look down on them. I hate them for that because I had a mother and I had a father, and they did love me. I will not say that they didn't, but there's just some things that just wasn't taught or passed down to me. And I look at that again when I had kids and as they're growing, I make sure that I explain that to them so that they don't go through the same struggles that I went through and this and that. And one thing that I kind of resent for myself is, again, I made good money when I was working offshore, but I didn't do the right things with that money.
Mhm.
Again, I blew a lot of money Um, Pretty much get paid, come home from offshore. All right, y'all, let's load up. We go out, we go head somewhere and this and that. So again, not taking what I'm telling my kids now because I learned from that. Okay, this is
Right.
what your daddy did wrong. I didn't plan accordingly to go on to these trips. And this is why I'm in the situation I'm in. And my biggest regret is I couldn't provide y'all with the dream house that I had envisioned for y'all from the
Mm-hmm.
time y'all were babies up until the time, y'all became of age. That's my biggest regret. And they would always tell me, like, Daddy, you know, you we know you did your best and we were perfectly fine at the house we grew up in. We had a lot of
Right.
good memories here. We made the best of it. You helped make the best of it. So and nothing for you to feel bad about. And
Right.
that's as comforting. It gave me a sense of relief to hear that from my kids. And I'm
Right.
definitely grateful and humbled by it. But at the same time, I still feel as though I let them down because I didn't give them that house, that other things that I wish that they could have had. But
Right.
money don't buy happiness. You can have all the money in the world and people are still miserable. So I made up for the lack of money by the time I invested and time I spent with my kids. So
Right.
but when they all told me that, when all three of them told me that, that was my release. I
Right.
was able to let go. Still have a little regret, but
Right.
it doesn't weigh me down as much
Right. Right.
because they gave me that reassurance, like, nah, Daddy, we we were good over here, and we
Right.
thank you for all that you did for us.
Yeah, man. That's a rewarding feeling. It makes you feel good inside, right? When they
Yeah,
say, "Dad,
definitely.
it's okay. You doing what you can do. We have it. It is what it is."
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
you
the thing about it. Your time is always going to be weighed more than your money. You
and
can
that
always.
that was kind of like my small gripe with my parents though, because I was happy with what I had. It was like, okay,
Mhm,
I didn't think nothing was wrong. I think everything is
mhm,
good. I was super happy. My parents made me, I don't have any complaints about my childhood. It wasn't until I got older and then I look back and said, okay, my parents, smart people, they made sure that we learned the things that we needed to learn in life. Why didn't they say this to me? Why didn't they say that, okay, I might not know in this area? Sometimes talking to your kids about that might be enough to, just kind of
mhm,
change the situations,
Mhm.
not to dump your problems on your kid, but just kind of, to kind of explain to them,
mhm,
the places that you might not have the knowledge to be able to help them in, to, it
mhm.
might spark some kind of an interest for them in that area. So, that
Right.
was my gripe. My parents was excellent. So it was like, okay, well, why didn't y'all tell me that, you didn't know about this? You would tell me to save money and, be able to afford things and not have to borrow things from people. But, you didn't explain to me about a mortgage to the point where, when I bought my house, I had my house paid down to the amount that my parents had paid down on the house that I grew up in, because I just learned about how a mortgage worked and just paid on my mortgage different. It wasn't an
Mhm,
inconvenience to me, but it helped me pay off my mortgage quicker.
mhm,
If my parents would have told me that when I was in high school and learning about the little stuff about finance or advanced mathematics, then, if they would have said this to me, I could have said, okay, let me see if I can work out this problem for my parents. So,
Right.
that's what
mhm,
caused the resentment for me. It was like, I felt like I had a good relationship with my parents. You kind of keeping this secret and not letting me help with this thing that I could have probably easily helped y'all with. So,
Right.
right, right.
yeah.
Well, I definitely get that. I think sometimes that comes with, maybe their own upbringing, and sometimes it comes with, not wanting to disappoint you guys. Um, so maybe they overextended themselves, or
Yeah.
like again, sometimes the upbringing, or maybe they just didn't know.
Well, it's
Um,
it's
Mhm,
also, it's not upbringing, it's access to information, Jay. We live in a different society now.
Well, that's but
Our
for
parents
you,
didn't grow up with a cell phone attached to them all the time, but we
right,
kind of grew up with this information outlet with us all the time. So, we can process large amounts of information different and be able to kind of seek out that information in that environment. So,
right.
it's that, I it took me a while to kind of learn that, but just to answer the question, that's what made me kind of be resentful. It's like, why wouldn't y'all tell me this? Like, we got a good relationship. Y'all
Well,
Mhm.
did everything
well,
good
you
in my
said you
eyes. Why not?
well, you said, it comes with access of information. So without access of information, that means that they didn't know. But as you became an adult, you realized and you understood for yourself, and you got the information on your own to put
Yeah.
yourself in a better situation. So once you
Mhm.
realize, hey, I have more access to information, you took it upon yourself to make that step to find that, and then do what you had to do in order to, like you say, pay your mortgage sooner than later and things of that sort. So, but as you became an adult, that became your responsibility to pursue that information. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so for me, um, when I think about family and what unspoken hurt or longing do I still carry, and what does it mean for you to release it? So for me, I have wrote down. Um, Sometimes I think maybe if I would have been a better influence to my brother, he would still be alive. It's things that I did introduce him to when he was younger, and the decisions that we do make in our younger lives do help to it does mold us into who we become as adults. So I think for me, releasing that, which I did release it, so things became lighter for me. You understand what I'm saying? So um, we do with our siblings and things like that, we do have an influence on them because they are watching us, and they do listen and do the things that we say. So sometimes, whether you're leading them in, which direction you're leading them into, sometimes can play to their demise, and you wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because over time you start to develop patterns, and it may be something petty, but over time it just grows gradually, and then they find themselves, or you may find yourself in situations that may be hard to get out of. So for me, just kind of releasing that hurt, just thinking about the influence that I had on my brother and certain things, and I think about maybe had I not introduced him to some things, he probably would still be here, because all that stuff just trickled down to making bad decisions later on. So, but I know it's almost about an hour. I had y'all on there for about an hour, so we'll probably just kind of run through the last couple, maybe like two more, and then we'll just cut it out because I don't want to hold everyone too long. So, okay, so how do you want your presence to impact the people in your community, and are you showing up in a way that reflects that? So this one I kind of just go first. So I want my presence to be impacting in the community that is out of love and kindness. Um, and what I do is from love. So I show up every day to with and being the best that I can be. So I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. So, uh, Uncle Real, I'll let you go next.
Uh, for me, um, continue to be dang, it was just on my mind. Humble, respect, and humility. Um, I just want to continue to be that light for those that may be going through rough times. And a lot of people know my story, everything I've been through past couple years. And like I said earlier, man, to see you still walking around here smiling the way that you do, man, it's like, they're glad to see that. So I just want to continue to carry that light with me, because if I can make it through everything I just went through, and you can make it through it too. I still have my frame of mind. I'm free. I know I woke up this morning. I'm thankful for that. So continue to be that light for those that may be going through just as rough a time, and let them know, hey, look, if I can make it, you can make it. And remember, somebody somewhere got it worse than you. And if you
Yeah.
woke up this morning, you still got purpose. God still has a plan for you. Just keep your head up, one
Right.
foot in front of the other. Don't look down. You can't see where you're going if you look it down. Keep your head up, keep your eyes forward, and you go get there.
Right. Yeah, man. God still got purpose for you. See, what's up with you, man? What do you think about it?
Um, well, I want my presence and impact on my community to be positive, um, to be seen as helpful. And I do think that you know, once I start to have a conversation with people, even if it's about the things that I'm doing, they always are receptive to it, whether they accept it completely or not, whether they completely agree or not. They always have a positive response. So um, yeah, no, I think my presence reflects that too. So
But yeah, I mean, that's the best we can do, right? Just show up every day and be positive. Not every day is gonna be a good day, but you gotta do the best you can to control what you can control. um, okay, are you loving in a way that aligns with who you say you are, and what would it look like to love more honestly, gently, and intentionally? Um, see, I'll let you go first. See,
um yes, I think I'm loving in a way that aligns with who I say that I am. Um, I think maybe the gently part might be the only um place that it could use some improvement. Um, I guess maybe a more tactful. Uh,
more
I think I got
discretionary approach.
Yeah, the honesty is there and the intentionality is there. But sometimes gently, I could only kind of say it the way that I could formulate it in my brain. So I might not say it in the best
Right.
way. So yeah.
Right. I think that comes with knowing who you're speaking to, because I can't always communicate. I can communicate the same message, but I can't talk to Steve how I talk to Bob because
Yeah.
of their personalities. But what you think,
Yeah, I would say for the most part, yes, I am the way I love it, it aligns with the type of person I am. Again, I am not perfect. I do have flaws, but I'm not toxic, if that may make sense. Again, I like to be kind and humble, respectful in every way possible. And just to treat others the way I want to be treated.
right?
And I'm continuing to grow as a man, becoming a better person, a better individual every day. There gonna be days where, yeah, it may not be as good of a day as you just said earlier, Neff. But try not to dwell on the bad part of the day too long. Try to
Mhm.
move forward, get past it, and keep it moving.
Right. Yeah, that's what's up, man. For me, I am, but I haven't always been. I think just kind of going through adolescence. You go through situations that toughen you up a little bit, um, and relationships itself too taught me that everyone doesn't necessarily have the same heart as mine, but always move with intentionality and things that I do and things that I do desire. And I learned that it's okay, you know. But for the most part, yes, I feel that being open, being honest, transparent. Yes, my approach too, like what C was saying, the gently part, but I do move with intentionality. Um, yeah, like you say, you gotta have a plan or you're gonna fail. But you gotta do the work that you said you're gonna do. You gotta stick to the plans. But yeah, I do got a couple more things that I do want to speak about, but I'm probably gonna just kind of hold that off until the next episode because I had you guys on for a little bit over an hour now, and I know that y'all got some things to do, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, I
I'm
could use
hungry,
some
bro. So
food
I'm
too.
ready
I
to go
can't
get,
even
I'm ready to
lie.
go get some plates.
Not a problem. Just let me know when you're ready to do it again.
Yeah, facts, man. But it was a blessing having y'all on, though. I really appreciate y'all, and I hope that whoever the message finds in the future, that they're able to use this information for their own benefit, and just learn from our mistakes, and for someone that does not have a community or anybody to go to talk to. So you guys definitely doing a lot to really help out more than you think. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, man. Y'all enjoy your holidays, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right,
Hey,
bro.
Sam,
You
y'all.
too.
All right, Chris.
It was nice
Take
to
care,
meet
brother.
you, Uncle Real. Yeah, same to you, bro. I enjoyed this
Yes, sir.
conversation, man. I
Sir,
appreciate
definitely. Same here.
Vaughn. Yeah, and thank you, dog.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure,
sir.
man.
Same.
Love y'all, man.
I love y'all too.
Love you
Y'all have
too,
a good
bro.
one. God bless.
Yep,
God
same.
bless.